Hey, 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 it's me, Wanda D, the motivational queen. What's going on? What's going on? Happy Wednesday. This is the Winning Evening News. Yes. So I want to encourage everybody to come on in. Come on in. Tell a friend it's time to win. Invite, like, and share. Yes, yes, yes. Come on in, invite, like, and share. I want to give everybody a minute to get in. As you come in, hashtag winning evening news, hashtag winning evening news. And also, don't forget to just drop down any links that you have, any information you like to share. We just want you to feel free to share that information with everybody so we'll know how to connect with you. We can't grow if we don't know. So please come on in, come on in, and also invite somebody else into the space. Maybe they can benefit or leave us some information and help us grow collectively. So I just want everybody to come on in. Come on in. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Yay. I'm taking my time. I'm going to invite some people in. You do the same. I'm just hitting the invite button a few more times here. Yes, yes, yes. And also, if you come through later, hey, Dr. Elliott, Winning Evening News, thank you. If you come through later and you watch the replay, hit replay. Now, I did want to feature some music. I gotta find it. Hi, Ree. How are you? How are you? Hashtag Winning Evening News and drop your links in. Yes. Education, NoTechnologyNetwork.com. That's Dr. Elliott, our go-to for all things tech. Yes, he's concentrating on helping our youth and young adults get it together. And anybody else, please check out Dr. Elliott. He's definitely winning in technology. Thank you, Dr. Elliott, for always being consistent. That's what it takes, right? It takes being consistent so you know that consistent pays. Consistency pays off. I am trying to find an email. Let me see. I have so much stuff on my phone. Nope, I don't want to do that. So how you been? How you been all week? Has everything been going in your favor? Have you been having major breakthroughs? And then, Dr. Elliott, how have you selected your other schools? I know you were saying you were going into some other schools. Have you found your middle school and your high school yet to go into and spread the word? Hey, Miss Jordan. Keisha Jordan is in the building. Let me see if I could play this. So, okay. So you also know. Let me just say, the Winning Evening News is associated. Hey, Patricia Johnson. Yes, this is the team that's going to be in Florida for our conference. I'm excited to see these ladies. We'll be in Florida on the 9th. The She Exists presents Expanding Your Territory to know them to sign up. Okay. So Yeah, so everybody say hello to one another. You know how we do it. We say hello. Don't just come in and, say hello to everybody. Raise the vibration. Spread some love. Give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs up. Yes, Z in the house. Hello, darling. Hello. Make sure you hashtag winning evening news. This is where we're going to, I'm interviewing Noah McArthur. He's going to give us some financial information because we want to win and we want to win in our finances. True, 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 true. Hi, Marcia. How are you, Queen? Thanks for joining today. Hey, Vivian, come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Yes. So, yeah, you see, I have my Dr. Elliott. You see my shirt, Women Who Code. I'm learning. I'm learning something new. Yeah. So thank you. You are beautiful. Thank you, and so are you. So yes, thank you, Vivian. Vivian just shared the winning evening news because she already know it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good because y'all here, so it's gotta be good. No, I need one middle school and one high school. Now Dr. Elliott, if you need me to get that for you, I will. I will get it for you. But what was I getting ready to say? So, the winning evening news, I also want to feature music. So, if you are an independent artist or you know of an independent artist, please tell them to send me over their music so we can play it on our show. This is our show, right? This is the winning evening news. And the winning evening news, see, when God just dropped that in my spirit and say, you know what, do the winning evening news. So when I visualize the winning evening news, you got the news, and the news don't always tell you who's winning. I want to focus on who's winning. I want to give us the tips to how to win, how to stay in the presence of winning. So it's kind of reminded me of when I was a little church here that I used to attend, and we would, and when I was in Detroit, and we would have good news testimonials. So our mic would get passed and people would stand up and give good news testimonials. That's where it started. I tell y'all, the Queen, Martha Jean, the Queen, rest her soul in heaven, I think she's somehow in my body as well because, I be picking up all kind of tips from her and all that kind of great stuff. But when we used to do that, it was so exciting to hear what other people had to say. And then along with that, when I first moved to Atlanta and I started going to this church and I started them to doing it. I don't know how I did that, but I was just like, I think this will be a good idea, pass the mic and let people stand up and give their testimonials to, the good news, like what type of good news they have. So, that was my idea of bringing you the winning evening news. Now, you do know that it filters from the group Wake Up Winning for Entrepreneurs. So go to that group. If you're not a part of that group, go in there and you'll get you'll get more nuggets and everything. And it's just our community. So I want to bring on our special guest for this evening. Let's see. So, Noah, if you're listening, if you're out there, please hit the button. And in the meantime, can y'all hear that? So, like I said, if you're an artist and you have like spoken word, recorded spoken word, or, independent artists, come on and send me your stuff so then we can listen to it. We can share it during this period. Last week I did. I just sort of jumped into here today, waiting for Mr. MacArthur to hit the button, and so he can come on in and give y'all this information that I'm excited. And also y'all can follow him. He does a motivational, inspirational speaking in the morning, helping you get moving and get motivated. Very, very dear friend of mine. And I'm try to. Okay, can't talk right now. So I knew this. I knew this. I had three people that told me I'm gonna call you back. So they of course they're gonna call right now, right in the middle of stuff. But I'm glad I'm not on my phone, so we won't be interrupted like that. Uh, but we have to get this stuff going. So just bear with me while I try to get our special guest on. I don't know what happened. I saw him up here, and then for some strange reason he went away. But this is technology, so I don't put anything past anything. Wonderful singers and poets that you showcase. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, thank you, Keisha, Miss Jordan. Thank you so much, Queen. Hey, King.
Hey, what's happening? Can't hear me
You a little feedbackish.
now? Oh, am I?
Okay, I think you're good. Say something.
Something?
Something. Something. What's up, King?
It's not much.
Oh, it's a lot. Tell
Oh, is it?
tell it to
Okay.
somebody that don't know no better. Tell it to somebody that don't know no better. So we was waiting on you.
Well, I
Say
tell you, it's interesting because I done heard the whole conversation y'all had about everybody and everything. So can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, something.
something. So yeah, so you heard everything that we were talking good stuff about you, saying how you was getting ready to come on here and bless us with some positive, great information. And for
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
that don't know, Noah can sing. I might have him sing on his intro.
Woo.
Yeah, he can sing. Drop me 16 bars right quick.
Well, I'm not singing, but let's just go ahead.
I can't get a little doo wop. No doo wop. No doo
No,
wop.
no.
Not y'all.
Yeah,
He can,
I can give you some information.
but I can't get no doo wop.
Well, yeah, but later. I tell you what. Next time. Let's.
Okay then. So everybody, I want you to just say hello to Mr. Noah McArthur. He is just a great guy. I have known him for quite a long time. He's actually just brilliant, and I don't want to I can't say anything less than that in that space of business. So I just really felt like, because this group, as I was stating before, this group stems from the entrepreneur group, and we're always looking for information and ways that we can expand and we can grow. So I asked you to come on because I know that you work mainly in the area of finance and real estate and just investing and stuff like that. So, but before we get started, why don't you just tell the people about you, who you are, and where you I don't know. Are you in Texas right now? Because I know you be all over the place.
I am in Texas
Okay.
for the time being. I'll be in Texas until we pick up the next project that we're actually working on and a part of over in Nassau. But I'm originally from Louisiana. Came to college in Texas over 30 years ago, and I've been in Texas since. I have three wonderful, beautiful children. My oldest will be 31 next month. My middle child is 22, and my baby boy is 19. I have three wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous grandbabies. My oldest grand turned 10 on Monday. Yeah, and he's 6. So, Cam, big love you, man. And that's kind of me. I've done what I do for over 25 years, and walked out of corporate America many years ago and have done what I do for quite that time.
Okay. Why now? Mainly, you're in the area of finance, correct?
Yeah, it's interesting because my my everyday profession is a negotiator. So I make my living talking. I'm a professional speaker by trade. I happen to have a pretty intense background in finance. In my previous life, I was a financial analyst for a U.S. Attorney General. So it gave me the opportunity to keep my hand, an eye on the pulse of the economy. And that kind of graduated me into some other avenues. And this is how we ended up to where we are now.
Okay, great. So you do a lot of things for other companies and helping them grow. And what okay, and also I know that for everyone else, I know that you also, and I was telling people that you also specialize in credit repair. So I want you to talk about why is credit so critical? Because we talked this, and I was in a seminar over the weekend and trying to stress the importance of your credit. Can you just break down the value of having good credit versus not good credit, and what
Yes,
how it takes you and moves you in along the way in your business?
absolutely. As a matter of fact, an 800 FICO score is more elusive. It's more dynamic than $100,000 cash. When you have a perfect credit score, when you have good credit, everything in the a state of economics. And let me go all the way back. There are three things we want to know, and that's economics, finance, and money. And when we talk about economics, finance, and money, you need to know that all of them play their significant roles in everyday life. As a consequence, everything when it comes to economics, finance, and money has a rating. And the rating itself happens to be and deal with credit. So when you talk about your personal credit, you have personal credit, you have business credit, you have economic credit, you have finance credit, then you have national credit. So it is imperative that we have good credit. Now, if you have a lot of capital, you have a lot of liquidity, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, you still want to go and buy credit, because when you buy credit, you're able to extend yourself much further than you have to do with your liquidity or your cash. Yeah.
Okay. So in essence, like you said, your credit is more valuable than your cash. I know a long
Yes.
time ago they used to say cash is king, and it's not king anymore. It's assets, right?
Well,
And credit.
cash is king. Cash is king if you own the kingdom. That's
Okay.
what cash is. Cash is king when you own the kingdom. But if you live in the kingdom, you have to be able to do as the Romans do, and that is dance like foot soldiers until you're able to own a kingdom. You can create a kingdom by just having good credit. Now, I want to say this, I don't do credit, but I've partnered with an organization that specializes in credit. What I do is I help individuals maximize the abilities of utilizing credit. I am a licensed fund manager. I manage a hedge fund. I own a bank. So, what I do, I help individuals better understand the significance and the importance of credit. Even banks can utilize customers who have good credit, and you can reap great dividends and rewards from it. As a consequence, we've been taught what others think and not what many know. As a matter of fact, there's a saying, those who know don't tell, and those who tell don't know. In all actuality, for those who really know, they're really not talking. They're not talking because it's kind of like a closed club. It's kind of like a closed off club. So the way you get into the club, you get into the club with good credit. Get into the good credit. You create a platform that will help you better get ahead. When you take into account 60 plus million Americans have credit scores less than 650. From March to June, 49 million Americans were turned down because their credit scores were a 550 or lower. Now, it doesn't mean that because you have low bad credit, you're a bad person. Because good things happen to bad people, just like bad things happen to good people every day. When the economy failed around 2006, 2007, what happened, many individuals found themselves in the blunt of crisis, in economic and financial crisis. As a consequence, 61% of households in America refuse to have conversations about money. So when you don't want to talk about money, you suffer with a knowledge of economics and finance. In every seminar that I do around the world, I do seminars, and what I do, I help individuals know that economics, finance, and money have their place. Economics is global, finance is national, money is personal. So as a consequence, when you don't take into consideration or don't give much thought to what's happening globally, it will impact you nationally. Therefore, it affects you personally, which is your money monetarily. So as a consequence, your outgo is not enough to keep up with your income, and your downfall becomes your upkeep. So what we have to do is to go back and look at things from the reverse. One of my favorite movies is The First 48. And the reason The First 48 is one of my very best movies is because, you know, if they don't find the culprit or the victimizer within 48 hours, their chances of solving that crime is very slim.
Right.
What happens is, if you don't take very close consideration in the things that are happening with you every day and work it from reverse, your survival rate is slim. Prior to 46 minus one taking the White House, I shared with people on a very consistent basis. I said with people on a very consistent basis that if you don't have $100,000 of income in your household a year, you're going to suffer. Many people looked at me like I was crazy. As a consequence, that's what it is. If $100,000, and you take into consideration $100,000, $100,000 in your tax bracket, is going to be around 30%. So at 30%, that's just about 70 grand. Now, if you are not careful, if you don't understand economics, finance, and money, you're only taking 70 grand a year. What happens is individuals will start to take 70,000 a year, but they live at 185,000. So now everything that's going out is not enough to keep up with what's coming in.
Right.
What has to happen, we have to become a little wiser about what it is. So if you allow your credit to be strong enough, you now can diminish the interest rates. Now your interest payments are lower, so you're not spending as much money. Interest on your car, the interest on your home, the interest on loans are much lower. I did not know until recently that for those that are in the state of Florida, the state of Florida can charge up to 39% interest on an auto loan.
Wow. What you say?
In the state of Georgia, they can charge up to 20+% interest rate.
Ridiculous.
The top 10 states, 2 of them I just called, the top 10 states that have the worst credit in the United States, Florida and Georgia are 2 of them. Texas. As a matter of fact, in the state of Texas, I got to give it to you this way. In the Metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, the state of Texas, 485,000 people have credit scores less than 600. In the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, about 62,000 have credit scores less than 600. Now, What that means is, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. And I want your audience to know that this is not bashing. We need to be able to have stuff put in our face and be like, dang, I really ought to be ashamed of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, if we watch what we spend and we get more into the habit of budgeting and managing, we're able to now save and accomplish or conquer. Um, 2018, uh, 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 Elizabeth Warren, the senator from upstate Massachusetts,
Mm-hmm.
took to Congress and began to show Congress how that many of the inequalities that are happening in the United States are happening to black and brown people, and they happen. Let me give us some information. Do you not know that there are companies that are conglomerates, and they have individuals that study the spending habits of communities?
Absolutely.
They spend their time on demographics of how individuals spend money. And based on how you spend, they place certain things in those
In those
neighborhoods.
communities, absolutely.
That's why in black and brown communities, you don't see a lot of mainstream banks.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a lot of Chase and Bank of America or PNC or Bank of America or RBC, RBS, BBVA. But what you do see is wood forests. You see second tier banks where they know that many individuals have had bad credit. They can't get accounts. So what happens is they have more charges that they can charge you for having an account because that's how they make money. Although they're saying we're going to give you a second chance, and they do. And that's not a bad thing. The second scenario, you see a lot of pawn shops. You see
Mm-hmm.
a lot of alcohol, liquor stores, more so than you do in other communities because they know where our spending habits are on things that we can wear on our not assets.
Right.
They're so accustomed to seeing how we set ourselves out, they strategically and intellectually place things where they know we're going to consume. You know, we will have a cell phone and not have life insurance.
Yeah. We'll have a cell phone and not pay our rent.
Yeah, you know, sisters are going to get their hair done. They'll get their hair done. They go buy a new outfit. They're not gonna pay their rent.
Yeah. You know,
And
you said
go
something,
ahead.
not to interrupt you, but you said something very interesting, and that was the conversations around the dinner table. Why is it that what's your thoughts on why we don't have enough conversations around finance and around
Well,
economics?
I, one of the reasons we don't have those conversations is because we're afraid to. That's and that's a historicity thing because for so long parents didn't have these conversations with us. They didn't involve us in, how and what, when, where, and why when it came down to finance. As a consequence, what happens in our culture, when we die, we pass on debt. When
Mm-hmm.
other cultures, especially Anglo cultures, they die, they pass on wealth
Mm-hmm.
because they know the immense uh, strength of life insurance policies. What we know as strength is a GoFundMe, chicken dinner, fish fry, go to the church, hand out, help me bury my mama, help me bury my daddy.
And pray.
And we don't want to look at it for what it is, but at the end of the day, that's what happens, you know. And then when we hear the conversations, the first thing we do, we want to turn a deaf ear because we feel, oh, they don't know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me give you a proven fact. When you take into account the job you work, if you are an employee of a certain organization, whether you know it or not, they got insurance on you.
Absolutely.
Now, when you expire, they benefit, you don't.
Absolutely.
Why? Because they understand the immense strength there is in life insurance. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you one thing you gonna do, you gonna die. You can't leave here alive.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
You can't leave here alive. There's people dying, they never died before. They dying to get out of here. I'm just letting you know. But as morbid as it sounds, it's real. And as a consequence, what we do, we try to help individuals just better understand their economics. But
Mm-hmm.
see, economics is one of those conversations we don't want to have that involves financial literacy. And financial literacy is one of the things that are really just damaging and debilitating to many communities. I've been an advocate in financial literacy for quite a time now. As a matter of fact, 3 years ago, taking the advice, and I was an advocate far before 3 years ago. But 3 years ago, I got involved at the behest of John Hope Bryant, my brother from another mother, who I love like no other. Um, we got involved 3 years ago, and as of this past January, the bill is now passed in Congress. 5 states in the United States, a kid must take a financial literacy course before graduating high school.
Yeah.
If you all, some of you may remember, a couple of months ago, I was down in Tennessee, and some of the conversation we had, I had a conversation with the church there, and some other things I was doing while I was there. As of August, September, they have opened and are opening a bank on the campus of the high school in
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina. As of a few years, as of last year, they actually have a fully operational bank in high schools, in the high school. And what makes that so unique and so uniquely strategic, it's teaching that generation how to budget, manage, spend, and save.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a consequence, between the generation that we are and the one behind us, we have failed them miserably. As a matter of fact, there was a study that was showed that the Z generation, this technology generation, they are the wisest and smartest generation in the last 100 years. But what they also discovered, they are the less improved in launching life. More than 46% of females are back at home living with their mothers between the ages of 22 and 29. About 39% of males are back home living with their parents. Because at some level we've failed in getting them to launch. And how we're going to help to launch them is help them by teaching them. We've got to learn now to teach not only them but teach ourselves.
I was gonna
And
say the most. That's what I was gonna say is mostly it's the literacy has to start with the senior because that's where the problem is. Like you named, it was what is that thing that they used to say? Hey, money don't grow on trees. Like these all of these scenarios that they used to say. Like and it's almost like you feared it, and if you didn't have it, you needed it. So it's like, what do you do with it? So we really have to start these literacy programs where people are. And you mentioned the church. Do you feel like the churches are doing enough for the
no,
literacy campaign? Because this is where all the people seem to gather.
no. Um, One of the things I say, uh, the church has done a good job at sharing, teaching, and exposing exegetically, hermeneutically, theologically, God. Done a great job. You know, they've done a good job at helping individuals have an experience of what God is and what God can do. They've done a great job. But in the holistic appointment of helping individuals know and experience freedom, we failed miserably because we're
Mm-hmm.
not really teaching. We're not teaching how to experience the abundance that the Lord said He came that we might have in John chapter 10. Matter of fact, when the Lord said, I came that you might have life and have it to the full, that fullness encompasses every part of our being. And
Absolutely.
yet, here we are. We talk about this God that can do anything but fail, but yet we have not taught you and equipped you with how to create an additional stream of income while still doing what you do. But what we want you to do is tithe. Now, understand, tithing is a requirement from God. But see, understand this, that what God gave us far before he gave us the responsibility of family, God gave us a responsibility of freedom. And that responsibility comes by way of choice. If if you really want to know what financial freedom lies in choices. Choices starts in making decisions. So therefore, if we what we know better, we do better. But
Right.
we don't want to have these kind of conversations. And the reason we don't want to have these conversations because this is one of those old adages. Well, I already know that.
Right.
Or I don't need to know that. Oh, I'll get to it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you something else. 15 years from now, by 2034, 15 years, they're anticipating that Social Security will run out. Now, if it does, that means you have a barrage of senior citizens. Now, mind you, 15 years from now, those of you who are looking at me, we will be into our 60s and our late 60s into our 70s, 15 years from now. So that means if you're not, and if you have not prepared yourself
Hmm.
15 years from now, 15 years going to get here real quick.
Real quick.
You know, I mean, think about it. 20 years ago, I mean, who'd have thought that 20 years ago, that that guy we saw on Apprentice is now, you know what I'm saying?
The president.
But what happens here is 20 years can move so quick. We don't give that account. And that's the other piece. We
Hmm.
don't prepare, we don't plan.
Preparing. Yeah. Well, that comes with the management. So, so Noah, because you're talking to a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, I was, like I said, I was in a conference Saturday, and just to break down how you can't really establish your business credit if you don't take care of your personal credit. Is that a fact?
That, yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So, okay, because we got to be honest, so when people try to move on in business, you got to first take care of, like they say, take care of home first. Put
Yes.
home in order before you move on into another area. So, because we're talking about financial literacy and budget and spending and management, what then would you say somebody needs to do first when they look at their personal credit? And what are some of the tips that you can share to help them move forward in improving?
One, one of the things I would recommend, contact me because there's some things that I can absolutely, some tips I can give that I would give you in real time, but to prevent me
Be
from getting
quiet.
myself into some areas of compliance that I know I really want to say and I know I'd love to, but due to the fact there are some regulations that don't allow me, I can tell you this. One of the first things you want to do, you want to sit down and look at your budget, look at your finance, look at your expenses, look at your outgo, look at your income. And when you do that, please do it with a very honest and sincere approach. I mean, be honest about where you are. Because the truth is, until you're honest about your income, the growth doesn't happen because you're not being honest about it. And in the regard of being honest, let me tell you what happens. You become responsible. It has nothing to do, and hear me what I say, people. It has nothing to do with the fact you're not making enough money. It has nothing to do with the fact that you don't have enough time in a day. I give this scenario, and Wanda, you heard me share this. One of the things that challenges me, especially when individuals want to get into business, Oh, well, I don't have enough time. I don't have the money. Well, let me help you with something. We all have the same 86,400 seconds in a day, every one of us. Several years ago, I took it upon myself because I do things because I want to see it work. That John Hope Bryant has this saying. He says, we need PhDs, and we do, because the pedigree helps us to think and become more challenged intellectually. We need graduate degrees. We do. He said, but you know what? I'm a PhD. And that's, I'm a PhD. I'm that guy. I just got to get it done. Several years ago, I would hear people say, I don't have enough time. I don't have the time for this. I don't have time for that. Okay. All right. Let me see. I called, this is when Johnny Cochran was alive. I called Johnny Cochran's office. I called his office and I asked for Johnny Cochran. And they put me on hold. He came to the line. So, of course, me, first thing I say is this you really, Johnny? He said, yes, this is me. That's you for real. So finally, I just kind of cracked a joke. But as he finally said, yes, and how can I help you? At this point, I didn't want him to get too frustrated with me. So I said, and I reminded him, he's from Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana. I reminded him of a case that he fought out of Morgan City, Louisiana. He said, oh, yeah. He said, okay, you've got a good memory. So we started talking. And I said, it's something I really want to talk to you about. He said, okay, no problem. He said, this is what I'll do. He said, I've got a meeting I need to be in right now, but I will call you back. I said, you gonna call me back, Johnny? He said, yeah. He said, I'm gonna call you back. Now, we hang up. Now, mind you, this is the time when caller ID becomes popular, right? Mm-hmm. A few hours passed. My phone rang. I looked down. It's Johnny Cochran Law Firm. Mm-hmm. I answer the phone. Johnny calls me back. Okay. Well, I said, okay, that worked. Now I'm going to call Bill Gates. I called Bill Gates' office. Now, I called Bill Gates. It took me 3 days. I called Bill 3 days. Never caught him. But finally, they got him the message. By 2 days later, he called. In the interim of Bill Gates calling me back, I called Bill Walsh, the owner of Indiana Pacers. My whole point in saying all this is these people either call me back. Now, understand now, I had something to really talk to them about. So, although my own intelligence was, I just want to be able to tell people, if you say you're so busy, and if what is not changing in the dynamic of your life, your management, and your pocketbook, you're too busy. Mm-hmm. Bill Gates called me back. We had conversation. Blew me away. So mind you, these are people who have stuff going on, but my whole point is we have to quit saying how busy I am, because don't be busy if you're not being effective. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, if you're going to be busy and deliberately busy. Be busy about the things that are going to make a difference and impact your bottom line. Not just your bottom line in the bank, but your bottom line is a person. Your bottom line is an individual.
That's right.
The thing about financial literacy encompasses every area of us. It's not just one dimension. It's not just credit. I can share with you and call me and I can help you get on the right track with your credit. But now what I do is I help you to leverage your credit. I'm a leverage specialist by trade. So I help you leverage that which you have. And then when you do that, now we start to go into some other things that can really cause you to think. Watching how you budget. Mm-hmm. The Bible teaches, write it down and make it plain. To your audience, when was the last time you literally wrote down a budget and stuck to it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have to become more insistent about the things we really want to accomplish. Homeowners, are you a homeowner? If you're not a homeowner, when would you like to be? And if you would like to be, let's be serious about becoming homeowners, because that's your asset. That's the wealth you want to pass on to your children's children. That's the responsibility of what we have to those coming behind us, because now we can change the whole paradigm shift of just renting. Now I understand, some individuals they have to rent. I recognize that. But let me tell you this. When we rent, the more we rent, the more rent mentality we accomplish. And what renting does, renting creates a stigma in our mind to not ever own anything.
Mm-hmm.
Every thought, Albert Einstein reminds us, Isaac Newton said it best, no thought lives in the mind rent free. Isaac Newton said, time is relative. We don't really appreciate it until we take advantage for what it's worth. So we have to be able to start thinking, okay, I've been renting now 10 years. Now let me tell you how profound that is. If a person rents for 10 years and their rent is $1,000, we just said $1,000. That's $120,000 you've given away over 10 years. That's $12,000 a year times 10. That's $120,000.
Mm-hmm.
Owned a nice little condo for 45,000. No, I'm not going. But it's yours. Ownership is what changes the paradigm in owning.
It is. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's a difference in mindset. Absolutely. So the first thing you recommended for someone to do is always to write down their budget. So
Write it
that's an
down.
assignment to everybody here that hasn't already done that, is to write a budget, especially we're closing out the year. So you should already know what's going to happen in your first quarter for next
Yes.
year. But if you
Yes.
haven't taken the time to do that, then we strongly encourage you to do that, because you do have to know where you start in
Yes.
order to know where you need to go. So whatever those things are to clean up, whether it is, hold on, you know I got company, right?
Yeah. Hey,
Get
little
back,
mama.
get back, get back, get back. The streaker. So
Not the
the
streaker.
streaker, she ready to come and give it to y'all too, like, hey. But knowing where we are is definitely the greatest path. And I think that's where it starts. It's kind of like when people, to wake up is what I call it. Wake up to your
Yeah.
finances, wake up to your life. Stop. We got to stop living in the dark of not
Yeah.
knowing and not talking about it. Let's
Exactly.
talk about it and then make these simple changes and simple adjustments. It could just be a matter of stop eating out. Instead of you eating out 3 times a week, just eat out once a week. Save that money
Exactly.
to the side.
Exactly.
Like, we don't have to, if you're not ready for an extreme change, then don't try to make an extreme change. Make a subtle change.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of having cable, get a fire stick or something. Like something where you can say, I can save $100 a month by just making these subtle adjustments, and then catching up the bills that are late, and stop being late on your bills. Like that's a big huge thing right there, is to be
Yeah.
on time, to start creating a better relationship with your money and with your credit and all that
Yes.
stuff. What do you find? Because I know you work with big companies and you work with smaller companies, all sizes. What are some of the common mistakes that most entrepreneurs make when they're first getting started, that you could share with us, and
Don't
how
want to
to
listen.
say
Don't
that
want to
again?
listen.
Don't want to
Do not
listen?
want to listen. Now,
Okay.
one of the I was telling I told my attorney, my lead attorney, this morning. I tell him I emulate him. He's been a practicing attorney for 54 years. You know, he taught at Harvard Law School 45 years ago, you know, and has represented some of the biggest names in the world. But I listened to him. My attorney locally here in Texas told me years ago, I tell this story and I tell it all the time. It was a period in my life that, just choices I was making just were not the best ones. I was spending money like crazy. because I was making a little money, I was spending and I was spending and I was spending, I was spending. And I never forget it. You know, he looked at me and he said, Noah, because I was going back and forth with the state of Texas with a situation that we had to get fixed. And finally he says, you know, you need to get your ish together. And he didn't say ish, believe me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you need to get it together. Looked at me and walked on. And I mean, I was a little, you know, a little miffed. I started to, you know, I wanted to do something to it. You know, I mean, I'm paying you,
You
you
pop
know.
your collar.
Yeah, you know, but it dawned on me. And he was right. He was right. My point is simply this. Get somebody in your life. They're gonna be honest with you and gonna get up in your face, gonna pull your coattail and tell you when you're out of line.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest challenges that entrepreneurs make, they do not want to be told no.
Mm-hmm.
No will save your life. No is a complete sentence. The act of boundaries will
Mm-hmm.
create unlimited and abundance for you. But you have to be honest enough with you that you can allow people to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a situation in one of the companies that I had, um, and the CFO there, I'll always love her. She's just phenomenal. I mean, she's off the chart. Well, you talk about eating out. Well, every month, you know, every month we would eat out. You know, I treat everybody in the office the whole 9 yards, and we were spending, you know, crazy amounts of money on just eating out.
Mm-hmm.
So she came to me the first month, and it was like several $1,000s eating out every month. But we were eating out like 4 or 5 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Second month, she was like, "This got to stop." So the third month, she came in my office and says, "I got to make an executive decision." Okay. She sat down. She had the secretary with her. Said, "Take these notes." She showed me what the bill was that month for eating out. We spent $9,000 on just eating out.
Mm-hmm.
She
Mm-hmm.
said, "Give me your cards."
What you talking about, Willis?
And I gave her my card. She said, "Look in that top drawer to the right,
Get them scissors.
pass me those scissors." She cut up both my cards. And she sat there and said, "Now you've been taken off the account. You'll have access to the other card, but not to that one." It's like, wow. I couldn't be mad because that's what she's hired to do.
Right.
As a consequence, we began sit down, we talk, and I said, "Hey," and I did tell her, I say, "You doing your job?" She said, "Of course I am." So as she's walking out, everybody walking in said, "Hey man, where we going for lunch?" She said, "Y'all on your own. We're not buying lunch anymore."
Mm-hmm.
So we all stopped, made a U-turn in the door, headed out the door. She looked back, she said, "Oh, and I'll buy you lunch today."
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
At the end of the day, we need accountability is the greatest platform for entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Be accountable. Be accountable to those and get you a coach. Get you a
Mm-hmm.
coach. And get a coach who's been there. Get a coach who's made some mistakes, but now they've got some results. Don't just get a coach that made a whole lot of mistakes, but get you a coach that has made some mistakes, but has an impeccable track record of success. And believe me, they're out there. It's going to cost you, but understand this. Quit being afraid of cost
Mm-hmm.
because the investment that you're making in you is going to create a level of return that you desire.
That's right.
You can't get a return if you don't make an investment.
That's right. That's what I tell people all the time. If you're unwilling to invest in yourself, then it's kind of like you don't really care enough about your business to grow it. You
Yes.
have to make these investments in whatever area you need to invest in, you should be willing to do that. And having an accountability coach in every area is just priceless, because
Yes.
we all need that push, that somebody to hold your feet to the fire, like you said, somebody to tell you no. And
Yes.
your coach and your accountability partner, it can't be your friend, it can't be
Yes.
your mama or your daddy. It's got to be
Yes.
somebody. And I want to say you almost need to cut a check to them in order for you to appreciate them, because if you don't cut that check, then you probably not even going to appreciate or value the information that they're saying to you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's just like that thing that entrepreneurs, and I would say, would you say that certain levels you need certain things? So in the
Yes.
beginning, if you're just starting out of your business, set it up right, do the things personal, get your personal finances in order, have a meeting with your family so your family can understand the changes that's going to occur with the lifestyle. Because see, this is another thing why I find that entrepreneurs fail in the beginning, is because they don't have the conversations with the
Yes.
family, and your family needs to know what you're doing. They
Yes.
need to know that, hey, we're not going to be doing this and we're not going to be doing that. We're going to save here and we're going to shift there around and we're going to be doing some other stuff. So then, therefore, everybody is on board when it
You're
comes
absolutely right.
time to grow. And so now the next level hit, and you may need to go seek out that person that you can say, okay, well, guess what? You saved a couple $1,000s over there. Now you can go afford to pay somebody to do something that's going to bring you much more in a return. But
You know.
Noah, I just want to share some comments that we got. Marcia said this was a very powerful topic and that we need this type of dialogue. Marcia, I so totally agree. And that's why we're having this. This is the winning evening news for a reason. The reason why God dropped this in my spirit is because we don't, I'm telling you, our community is so strong and so powerful.
Yes.
We just got to know who to reach out to and who to talk to about the things, and being honest with where we are and where we want to go. So and she also said an on-time message. Thank you both. She asked the group to, let's share this message, and I thank you for that, Marcia. This message, y'all should be hitting the share button like crazy, because see, this is what happens in our community. And I'm furious with our community because we have so much power that we don't use and we don't
Yes.
exercise. Like you said in the beginning, it's not that we don't make enough money, we just don't know, we don't manage our money.
Yes.
So if we all could just manage our money to the point that then we can keep our money in our community and we can see our dollars moving within our community, then we can
Yes.
grow our community and we won't have to be, don't get tricked people on the come up.
Yes.
That's what I want to say. Don't get tricked on the come up. Don't get tricked on the system of, the assistance that they so-called give us. That's fake. And it's just the way, like you said in the beginning, Noah, that's the difference between ownership and renting. It's a mindset. So if
Yes.
you say that you want to run up in some organizations and say, hey, gimme, is it free? If it's free, that's for me. It comes a time when you have to say, you know what? I'm willing to pay whatever it costs because I'm worth it, and my lifestyle is worth it. So I just want to
Yes.
encourage everybody to share it. And I do know, Noah, can you, we, this,
How
we
much
like,
more time we
look, we all the way in. You know what time is what we make of it.
got? Okay.
And I
Let
don't
me
have, I
let
don't
me
have
give
big,
them.
I want you,
I,
and I want you to give them a couple things. First of all, I want I want you to give them information on how to reach you
yes.
personally. And I also
All right.
want you to tell them about the brand, Nothing
Yes.
Ordinary About Her or Him. So if you could do
Okay.
that for me.
Can I do this too? You're talking about how powerful we are as a community. 2012 to 2015, 16. African American population in the United States is about just around 16%. Some say 14.8, some say about 16.7. What's amazing about that, the African American community spent 33.6% of the budget for the economy in the United States. Talking about well over several $trillion. The number one thing we spent money on was entertainment. Number two, jewelry, cars, all of those ancillaries. When it came to saving and charitable causes, you know where it was on the list? Number 8 and number 7. What that tells me is our mindset about our priorities have been so mismanaged. And it doesn't mean that, we're wrong. It just means we've been doing it not properly. So I want to do that. And the other thing I want to share too is simply this. When it comes down to what we have, you already said it. Let's get out of the habit of just wanting it free, and quit belittling others who look like you just because they look like you. Don't think that what they have to offer is not worth what someone else who's Anglo can.
Say that again.
Because there are many who look just like you that can do and help you, but hey, they cost too. Their cost should not be any less because they look like you. And I wanted to say that because we get there and go, hey, give me the hookup. I got a hookup for you.
The homeboy hookup.
Swipe that credit card, give me a cashier's check. That's the hookup. So with that said, last thing I want to say, and then I'm gonna give them this information. When we think about where we are as an economy, we are where we are because of choices we made. That just means we have to make better choices. We have to make better choices. And how we make better choices is literally recognizing what financial freedom is. If financial freedom is what you want, financial freedom comes by way of choices. I give this to you and then I'm going to give this information. Choices come from the book of Genesis. God put into existence choices in Genesis. And those 4 heads of the river represents freedom. If you want to experience financial freedom, create 4 streams of income. If you create 4 streams of income, you will experience financial freedom. If you're married, the husband creates 2 and the wife creates 2. The average millionaire has 6 streams. 6 streams. So if you've created 4 streams, you have freedom. Many individuals right now, I have a book that I wrote. It's being republished for this upcoming year, Practical Principles of Prosperity. And those very practical principles are creating 4 streams of income. And I'm not trying to brag or anything. I've got 9 streams. I've got 9 streams because I understand it takes that to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So say 4 streams will get you there. Now, my birth name is Noah. My birth name is Noah. I'm named after my maternal grandfather. My grandfather was Noah Ham Barty. I had an uncle named Ellis Noah Barty. And my great-grandfather was Sham Noah Barty. It took me 9 years. Now, this is the other key for entrepreneurs. Stick-to-itiveness is what it takes. Stick-to-itiveness, steadfast, diligence, commitment, focus, and sacrifice. That's for an entrepreneur. When I started on my brand, a friend of mine gave me a birthday gift. And the birthday gift was amazing. I was like, wow, okay. Folk kept saying, man, you got all this stuff going. Ain't nothing ordinary about you. I was like, okay, it sounds good. So the masculine name of the brand is Nothing Ordinary About Him. The feminine side of the brand is Nothing Ordinary About Her. And that's my brand. Ironically, I wear my brand every day. I wear my brand every day. It took me 9 years to go through Congress to get a trademark patent for my brand. So we have four different styles. You all have seen the complete block with Noah, nothing on there about him, nothing on there about her. And that's biblical. The name Noah is an ecumenical name. In the book of Ezra, the Bible says the king had no sons. He named his daughter Noah. She inherited all that he had. As a matter of fact, I think it's Brad Pitt. I think it's Brad's Pitt daughter's named Noah. The name Noah is a male or female, so it's an ecumenical name. It could be male or female. So with that, because I speak from a platform of encouraging individuals to be the very best that they can be, I speak from a platform that there is extraordinary in you because there's nothing ordinary about him, nothing ordinary about her. And that's the brand. We have caps, we have hoodies, as you know, we have shirts, we have aprons. I mean, we have it, you know. So you wear Nike, I wear Noah, you know.
And there
Oh, how
you
you
have
get contacted me? I'm sorry. Yeah, you catch me. You can catch me. You can catch me on Facebook. My name is Noah. Now, I just got a request from myself, so I'm the only one. Myself sent me a request, so I'm not sending any. But you can find me. You'll see a picture of my family. Those are my siblings. That's been always my foundation. And so with that, my phone number, my phone number, and I'll give it to you for those of you who need it, 469 735 5830. And, feel free to send me a
and
text message.
and make sure you contacted him by way of the Winning Evening News.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I have to give a special shout out to Wanda. Wanda and I met, dang, 2 decades ago. And I think we were laughing about this. We were laughing about that not long ago. And it's just amazing that, I used to pick at her. I used to pick at her all the time. Like, man, if you just ever do your own thing, boy, you're going to be dangerous. And she did, and here we are. So thank you, Wanda. Thank you so much for just
Thank you,
sharing
love.
to us. And I just really do. I thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I know that, and I'm just gonna say this to everybody. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, everybody. You guys remember to drop in your links, anything that you want us to pay attention to. Hey, Don James from Costa Rica. um
Puerto Rico.
anything anything that you want us to pay attention to, please drop that in. Hashtag Winning Evening News, hashtag I am enough. We want to just let you know, Noah, that I think everybody really really appreciates what you're doing. You can also follow Noah in the morning around 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and he's always dropping nuggets down, every day. He's very committed to that. And also he does a replay in the evening, so you all can make sure you tune in there and just kind of join the crusade. And I want to say this to us, there's enough for everybody. I can follow, you can follow, we all can follow, we all can participate in bringing our excellence to each other, so then we can help build the kingdom. Because the problem is there's not enough people that's committed and dedicated. No, it breaks my heart because every time I think that I have somebody in the trenches, they just fall off, and I say, wow, I look over, I'm coming up on my 10th year in media, which I started in media in when I was in real estate. And I'm like, I looked at, I was talking to my original engineer that got me started, and it was like, and I went through some footage and I was like, it'll be 10 years in 2020. So I'm planning this big celebration. I don't know when, but I think it's gonna be around, birthday time, May, somewhere in there, springtime, which
I'll
is
be there.
truly my new year. So
Yeah.
you are going to get a chance to hear and see Noah then, because he will be here for this big celebration that I'm gonna have. And I'm excited because, like you said, sticking to it. It's not easy to stick to something, but when you're really, really committed from your
Yeah.
heart. See, I'm committed
Yeah.
from my heart. It doesn't matter whether I'm up or down in life. I'm just committed to from my heart. So I keep coming
Yeah.
back to a place that I can't leave, and
Yes.
doing this thing, and doing it and doing it and doing it, and now helping other people, start platforms and do certain things. It's just, it's going to be very, very powerful and very interesting. So Noah, you'll get the mic, but I don't want you to drop all the secrets now. Hold back.
I won't. I won't.
Them
I
a
won't.
lot of secrets you holding on to.
I got you. I got you. I got you. What's amazing is, I do want to say happy anniversary. When I say stick to itiveness, what a lot of folk don't know is what I'm doing now. I've been doing this 12 years every day. I've done
Absolutely.
this every single day for 12 years. This is not new for me.
Right.
We just started getting on the
Facebook.
cam when they told me, "Hey man, you can do this." I've been doing this the first 2 years. I did a call every morning, 3 times a day for
I
two
remember.
years straight. Yep.
I remember.
Then I went. Then I did 2 calls, and I just started getting worn. So I went to one call, and we just celebrated our 10th year of just one call this past January. This upcoming January will be 11 years, and in roughly almost 13 years, we've missed a day and a half.
Yeah.
One day I just overslept. I'll never forget. It was a Monday morning. And the other time was my brother passed, and we just couldn't get it together. So
Mm-hmm.
outside of that, it takes commitment, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm gonna tell you, when you're committed, you'll create an environment that others will be as committed with you, that will
Yes.
join forces and merge to you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Noah. So you all reach out to Noah, follow him on Facebook. He's giving you his personal number, and I would not have suggested that, but he did it before I had a chance to cut him off.
Oh,
So
oh, okay.
so anyway, there you have it. Sometimes they don't listen and it doesn't
Oh,
matter. But anyway, guys, I love y'all. This is the Winning Evening News. Join us at the Wake Up Winning for Entrepreneurs. Join Noah
yeah.
as he continues to drop these nuggets. You're going to be seeing him more often. He's definitely going to come in here. We're going to break
Anytime,
this thing
any,
down. What we're going to
anytime you need
do is we're going to just break it down a little bit at a time. So then that way, as we move forward into our decisions to take care of our finances, we'll have that blueprint that we need, and it won't be one big gulp. We can just work on little pieces at a time. So that's what we're going to get that together, and we're going to go. So just give us some hearts, give us some love, raise the vibration, please. I need some hearts. I need some love. I need some likes. I need everything, because now I'm getting ready to go deal with a stripper, and I can't. And I need it, need it, need it, need it, need it. So yes, yes,
um,
yes. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Dr. Elliott. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Vivian. Who else is still on here?
and
I see quite a few
I see
people.
many of those that are already following my page. Thank all of you guys,
Yes,
and I
thank you,
appreciate you.
Z.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and anytime you need me, Wanda, feel free. I will make myself
Absolutely.
available.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that said, good night, you guys. I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it, and I will see you tomorrow.
And they can catch the replay of this morning on financial literacy in real time.
Okay, great. So,
All right. Thank you.
love you, baby.
Okay.
Bye
Love
bye.
you too.